When I was sick, everything they gave me, pills, charts, instructions, it kept me alive, but it didn't heal me. These are the 5 things that healed me. A lot of them didn't come from the hospital, but they definitely kept me alive. I couldn't walk without needing to lie down afterwards. I had no energy. My brain was foggy all the time. I was bloated and I was confused laying in bed all day. My body was deteriorating so fast. I was on so many medications just to stay alive and a bottle of laxative just to help me clear out all the ammonia. Debilitated, no energy, no appetite. I was ill and my body was failing. Constant blood tests, scans, results, doctor's visits, specialist visits, gastroenterologist visits. My wife just watched me disappear in bed. My appetite was gone. Food just felt like punishment, as if it was a chore for me to eat, but I didn't want any of it. I was scared. Sometimes I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the end of my journey. I sat on the edge of the bed one day, feeling like my body wasn't there anymore, as if I was disconnected because I was so ill. And I didn't think I was going to make it past this point. I was laying in bed, liquid was going everywhere in my body, building up down there in my legs, my stomach, and my lungs. And I was getting procedures just to get it extracted. I couldn't really think clearly through this whole process. The ammonia buildup in my blood because my liver was failing caused brain fogginess, and it just made me feel ill all the time with no energy. My energy levels were at 0%. I couldn't walk without getting winded. I had no muscle. My body was full on debilitated. Doctors told me to drink water, but I was limited on how much water I could drink because it was also poisoning me at the same time with the ascites and all the fluid buildup. During this, I had a dull irritation, almost a pain on my right side, and that was just my liver screaming for help. One of the wildest things during this is my body didn't have enough nutrients during my liver failure, and I didn't want to eat. I started losing my hair, growth under my armpits, my arms, my legs. My hair was disappearing during this. So my entire body was yellow. My eyes were yellow, my face was yellow. And I started to swell everywhere with this fluid. And all I wanted to do was drink water. I felt dehydrated. My stomach was always messed up. I had no energy. I couldn't do any chores, no cooking. I could just lay there, and if I was lucky, I would eat a little bit. The fluid buildup caused itching because of all the liquid and ascites and all the weird stuff happening. My legs itched so bad. I told multiple doctors, please help me during this, and they said it's normal. One of the most annoying, painful things was my umbilical hernia. Basically, because of all the fluid buildup and all the drinking, my stomach extended and my intestines tried to come out my stomach. It is very painful. I was depressed. I had anxiety, stress. I was thinking I wasn't going to make it. I was debilitated. I couldn't move, couldn't work, and I was stuck in bed during this entire time. Look, I followed every doctor's orders, all the prescriptions, all the medications, all the homework, all the testing, everything what to do, and I felt that it still wasn't enough. It just wasn't doing enough for me. But my numbers didn't reflect how bad I actually felt. I had every symptom in the book at a MELD score with a 23. I was alive, but I wasn't living. I was suffering way too much for way too long because of this debilitation. One day I realized if I didn't try something else, I wasn't going to make it back from this. I needed to put a lot of extra energy into something, otherwise I wasn't going to make it. I remember being so weak I couldn't get out of the bed at night to go to use the restroom, and I'd almost collapsed. And I thought to myself, this isn't recovery, this is just survival. That was my shift. That was my shift from patient to fighter mode, realizing that I have to do this myself and fight my way through this. My MELD score made it up to a 23. Basically, my blood was getting poisoned because my liver couldn't filter anything. I had it all. I had the ascites, the brain fog, I had the jaundice, I had everything that could go wrong with liver failure, including sepsis. My blood work results were getting worse and worse and worse, so they prepared me for the transplant. I had to stop waiting for the magic cure, for the pill that was going to heal it all. That wasn't how this was going to play out. Doctors tried to keep me stable, but they had an emergency meeting that tried to expedite me onto the transplant list. I was put on the liver transplant list at Loma Linda. I did all the steps necessary and did the pre-transplant consultation. I even got to meet the surgeon. They stabilized me, but I started adding to that. Supplements, routines, diets. I learned my blood work. All my results through my portal, I could evaluate and see what I was doing, if I was digressing or progressing. Once I saw progress and I realized that I was in charge of my own healing, everything shifted. I stopped expecting the system or someone else to do this for me. Supplements didn't save me, but they supported the healing that my body was now ready to do. Like milk thistle, dandelion root, and other vitamins. I started adding them to my diet intentionally. Milk thistle was huge in my recovery. It was daily liver support, but it wasn't overwhelming. Dandelion root helped detox and helped me get my appetite back. Fish oil, I believed, helped me start thinking more clearly and processing thoughts. A daily vitamin really helped me restore my energy over time, and little by little, it helped my body recover itself. Although it's not a supplement, collagen peptides and proteins were huge in recovering my liver, repairing it, and rebuilding my body. My support group, my family, my dogs, and everybody that allowed me this safe space to rest and recover in bed. I felt safe resting because I knew someone was holding space for me. Safety is healing. Your nervous system resets when you're being taken care of. Some nights I break down crying, not from pain, but just from thoughts that I wasn't going to make it. Your mind being at ease unlocks physical healing. My support system was and is the most important part of my healing journey. I was 150 pounds. I had muscle wasting and I could barely hold myself up. Movement and exercise was very important. I would try to get outside because it was important to get some sunlight, some vitamin D, and just understanding that there's a whole world out there. I started slowly lifting free weights and slowly walking to the end of the block. Exercise in the beginning didn't look like gym sessions. It looked like me standing up and just moving around the house and doing small chores. My body fought me on this. Every exercise and every change, my body fought back and would tell me I'm exhausted. I didn't want to do it. I started going on the treadmill to rebuild my walking strength, and I made it up to 2 miles a day now. I used our pool for exercise. I walked back and forth, or I could do a light tread in the water. The blood flow from all the movement and exercise was body and liver support. It was flushing all the toxins out. Real rest is not laziness. It is required when you're rebuilding from nothing. I had to learn mindfulness, to stop pushing my body, to just rest, heal. I relied on therapies, both mental and physical, to help me eat, sleep, and rest. I slowed everything down. Deep breathing, quiet mornings. I would take an hour to 2 when I woke up just to be and just remember that I'm still here. I was being mindful with where I was, and I was trying to stay positive. I call this part of it healing through stillness. It was a lot of doing nothing and resting, but it's very mindful. My body stopped yelling at me when I finally started listening to it. Look, I got off the transplant list within 6 months. I healed, I got my muscle back, and I recovered. My appetite returned, and I craved food again. And all the nutrients were helping my body. I was going to gym sessions every other day, walking 2 miles and lifting weights. My blood work improved. Jaundice was going away. My skin wasn't yellow anymore. The brain fog was leaving. I could focus again. My positivity came back, my drive. Slowly, little by little, all these lifestyle changes, choices, and routines, my life came back again. One morning I realized that I wasn't thinking about not making it anymore. I started to wake up each day with positivity, like today's a new day. My mindset shifted. Every day was bonus footage. These 5 things that I talked about didn't show up in a brochure. They weren't handed to me. These are specks of information that I had to get for myself to survive. Look, the hospitals, the doctors, the medications, the blood tests, that all kept me alive, but I rebuilt this myself. If you're out there waiting for someone to fix you, start stacking the daily positive changes. That's where healing happens. I had to adapt to survive. That's the truth, and I still do. Every day is a change, but I wake up grateful. I woke up with a second chance to live my life. And that's what healing gave me. And that's what healing can give any one of you guys. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Hey, you, watch my next recovery video and don't forget to subscribe.